A'ja Wilson was oddly silent, but complicit. All right, why was she complicit? Because, well, she knew she was getting a signature shoe for 2 years, and she let Caitlin Clark take all that hate.
Looks like A'ja Wilson just got caught slipping. While she's out here pretending to be all love and light, word on the street is she's low-key big mad about Caitlin Clark's new Nike deal. I mean, can you blame her? Caitlin pulled up to the WNBA and took over before Wilson could blink. But instead of congratulating, A'ja's out here throwing shade in secret? Let's dive into the mess, because this tea is scorching.
It is not looking good for Nike yet again, dog. I don't even know how many videos I'm going to make today about Nike, but it looked like Nike is definitely the star of the damn weekend. All started with the Super Bowl commercial, them snubbing Caitlin, them putting Caitlin in, them fixing the damn commercial, them dropping A'ja's shoe. Now, come to find out, A'ja Wilson has single-handedly killed the WNBA media credibility forever. Yes. Oh, my goodness. These women was lying. Oh, God almighty. They made such a big deal over Caitlin Clark getting a shoe deal over A'ja. Oh, I remember it like...
As we all know, A'ja Wilson has officially released her new Nike signature shoe. Congratulations, right? But hold up. Here's where things get shady. Remember a few months ago when people were out here saying, why is Caitlin Clark getting a Nike shoe? What about A'ja Wilson? Yeah. People were losing it, acting like Nike was disrespecting A'ja by even thinking about giving Caitlin her own sneaker. Fans were furious, calling it favoritism, calling it unfair, and basically making Caitlin Clark out to be the villain of the WNBA.
Want the A'ja Wilson? Who? Why? Yeah, she's some WNBA player. Who? No, she's one of the all-time greatest players ever. Why?
But now, with this new shoe drop, we find out that A'ja has known about her own shoe deal for 2 whole years. 2 years. That means when the internet was going wild, when people were tearing Caitlin down, when folks were screaming that Caitlin was getting something she didn't deserve. A'ja Wilson said nothing. She even acted like she didn't know what her design was going to be.
Do you have any ideas what you would want your future sneaker to look like?
I think the biggest thing for me is just I would love a low-top shoe. I play in a low-top shoe, so that's something that I would love to have carry over. And something that looks good. That's so key to me, like that, you know?
So y'all can record this, you cannot record it, but the biggest thing I want everybody to hear me say right now, it's about fucking time.
Yeah. Oh, but it gets worse. Because A'ja didn't just stay quiet. She let it happen. This wasn't some, oh, I didn't hear about it situation. She was fully aware that her own deal was locked in. Yet she let her fans run wild attacking Caitlin Clark for months. Caitlin was out here just trying to survive her rookie year in the WNBA, dealing with insane fouls, unnecessary drama, and the league ganging up on her. Meanwhile, A'ja was chilling, watching the internet set Caitlin on fire, all while knowing she was getting her shoe first.
The press tour has officially took off running. We got A'ja Wilson talking about, oh, I've been waiting 2 years for this. Wait, 2 years for this? 2 years for this. 2025, 2023. CC's announced in 2024. Delayed, not denied in 2024. Backlash all 2024. I've been waiting 2 years for this. And then we got Cheryl Swoops. There it is. Swoops. There it is. Cheryl Swoops couldn't help but embarrass herself. Oh.
Now, I want to ask, if you know you're already getting your flowers, why let people make it seem like you're being left out? Why let them create drama over something that was never an issue? She could have easily spoken up and said, hey y'all, don't worry, I've got something coming too. But nope, silence. And now, the same people who were dragging Nike for giving Caitlin a shoe are suddenly acting like they never said a word.
And these WNBA fans that did not want to see Caitlin Clark come in and do what she did, which was dominate the league. Led the league in assists as a rookie. After the season, I think I counted she broke something in the neighborhood of 63 records last year. Either rookie records or just flat records by anybody, not even a rookie. And all these fans have been mad. And all the while, A'ja Wilson sat back and was just plenty happy to play the victim. She could have come out and made some kind of a statement that would have called off the dogs. Nah, she didn't do it.
But let's talk about the bigger picture here. Because this isn't just about sneakers. It's about how Caitlin Clark has been treated since stepping foot into the WNBA. From day one, the league and certain players have acted like she's the enemy, like she hasn't earned her place. And why? Because she's popular? Because she brought in millions of new fans? Because Nike saw an opportunity to capitalize on her record-breaking career? Listen, Caitlin didn't steal anyone's spot. Nike doesn't just hand out signature shoe deals. You gotta earn that. And whether people like it or not, Caitlin Clark is box office. She's bringing record ratings, filling arenas, and expanding the game. That's exactly what companies like Nike look for. But instead of celebrating both women, fans were out here pitting them against each other, and A'ja let it happen.
How could they give Caitlin a shoe before they give A'ja one? Oh, how could they do this? How could they treat A'ja like this? Two-time MVP at the time, just before she even won the damn third one. They is wrong for doing this. You want to know?
So A'ja Wilson stayed quiet. She let her fans go after Caitlin Clark, calling her privileged and attacking her nonstop. She could have stepped in, could have said something to calm it all down. But no. She let it happen. And that silence? It speaks volumes. It just shows how toxic these players can be toward Caitlin. The girl is getting harassed for simply existing, and the so-called faces of the league are just watching. But it's bigger than just A'ja Wilson. Look at Nike. They didn't even include Caitlin in their original commercial. The biggest name in women's basketball right now. The reason the WNBA is getting record-breaking numbers. And they forgot about her? Then, at the last minute, they had to throw in a voiceover just to act like she was part of it all along.
This is my favorite thing of all. So let's take a listen to this. Nike actually put this one out after the fact.
You want to know what I'm selling? Rookie of the Year, Caitlin Clark. I know you want a tee.
Okay.
Nike.com.
They re-recorded it. Like, that's not even, I mean that. That's like, listen to it.
That wasn't an accident. That was a choice. So how does this happen? How does the player who's revolutionized the league, who's brought in millions of new fans, just get ignored like this? Because the WNBA has a problem. They don't want to embrace Caitlin Clark the way they should. Instead of celebrating her, they tolerate her. Instead of uplifting her, they let others tear her down. The message is clear. You're good for business, but don't expect us to protect you.
Because Cheryl Swoops made news. Now, she made news last week when she sat up there and was applauding Indiana Fever players, but then forgot to mention Caitlin Clark. She jumped all in my ass because I sat up there and said, hey, how you going to ignore Caitlin Clark? You know what she brings to the table. How you just going to ignore her? That's not an accident. Cheryl Swoops is a champion.
And A'ja Wilson's silence? That just adds to it. It's not about her personally attacking Caitlin. She doesn't have to. She just has to sit back and watch while everyone else does it for her. Because if the situation were reversed, if Caitlin's fans were going after A'ja like this, you better believe there'd be outrage. There'd be think pieces, tweets, ESPN segments calling it out. But since it's Caitlin, crickets. This isn't just a Caitlin Clark issue. It's a WNBA culture issue. Instead of rallying around the biggest star they've ever had, they're acting like she's a problem. And why? Because she's too popular? Because she's outshining the veterans? Because she's white? Let's be real. Race is playing a part here. The way people talk about Caitlin's success, as if she didn't earn it, as if it was handed to her, is ridiculous. They act like she didn't drop 30 a game, break records, and carry women's basketball to new heights. But hey, keep pretending she's not that big of a deal. Keep letting her get attacked. Keep leaving her out of commercials. It's not hurting her, it's hurting the league. Because at the end of the day, the numbers don't lie. The views don't lie. The jersey sales don't lie. Caitlin Clark is the biggest thing to ever happen to the WNBA. And the way she's being treated? It's embarrassing.
The backlash on this was quite significant. Everybody was calling out, why are you not marketing your most marketable player? And I cannot disagree, because Nike, why? Your stock is going down. Do you realize that Caitlin Clark's jersey sold out right after she was drafted, with an increase in over 1,000% reported for the Indiana Fever?
A'ja Wilson is out here celebrating her signature shoe, but she might not even realize she just exposed herself in the process. She's soaking up the moment, flexing the first ever Jordan brand women's signature sneaker, and rightfully so. It's a big deal. But what she may not see is how her excitement only highlights the double standard in the WNBA. Because while she's getting all the praise, we all know what would have happened if Caitlin Clark had been the one to land a major shoe deal first. The same people hyping A'ja would have suddenly found a reason to downplay it. And right on cue, here comes Sheryl Swoopes, one of the first to congratulate A'ja. The same Sheryl Swoopes who hasn't wasted a single opportunity to take shots at Caitlin Clark. The moment Caitlin started lighting up the WNBA, Sheryl had to jump in, making comments that conveniently questioned Caitlin's success.
I feel so lucky to be a part of the Nike basketball family for more than 30 years now. And I love to see how the brand continues to champion women's basketball and athletes who play it. I didn't text A'ja. I didn't call A'ja. I'm talking like you're not here right now.
It's not shocking, though. This is the same woman who was nowhere to be found when other white players came into the league. But suddenly, Caitlin Clark's presence is some kind of issue. And now, when A'ja Wilson gets her flowers, Sheryl is front and center, cheering her on like the best teammate ever. The hypocrisy is crazy. Nobody is saying A'ja doesn't deserve her moment. She absolutely does. She's dominated the league, won multiple MVPs, and is arguably the best player in the world. But it's the selective support that stands out. When it benefits the right people, it's all celebration and unity. But when Caitlin Clark does something great, the energy completely shifts. Swoopes and others suddenly turn into gatekeepers, making sure Caitlin never gets too much credit. It's wild how Swoopes, who was once a trailblazer herself, can't see the bigger picture. Instead of acknowledging that Caitlin's success is good for everyone, she's been more focused on making sure people know Caitlin isn't that special.
If we say her stats are today, what?
20 points, 8.4 assists, 6 rebounds.
That's crazy.
But
That's crazy.
5.6
those
turnovers,
hell of a number.
Those are hell of a numbers.
But to me, that's not dominating.
Yeah, it's only not dominating because she's a rookie.
Now,
if she's putting up numbers like A'ja right now, would she be dominating?
Yes.
So it's about
The truth is, Caitlin's impact is undeniable, and it's eating certain people alive. They can't stand that she's getting attention. They can't stand that people see her as a superstar. And they definitely can't stand that she's proving them wrong every time she steps on the court. A'ja Wilson should enjoy her moment. She's earned it. But let's not ignore the fact that the same people hyping her up are the ones who've made it their mission to downplay Caitlin Clark at every turn. And as for Sheryl Swoopes, at this point, it's clear she'll always find time to support some players while tearing others down.
She averaged 31.6, 7.4 rebounds, 9 assists, right? Did anyone expect her to do that in WNBA? No, right? So she didn't do that. No.
A'ja Wilson, you absolutely deserve your Nike signature shoe. No question about it. You're a 2-time MVP, a champion, and the face of the Aces. But let's talking about how you stood by while Caitlin Clark got dragged for no reason. Fever fans remember, everyone remembers. The unnecessary criticism, the coded comments, the silence from top players who could have shut it down, including you. And now karma is looming because, look at the aces. Barely any players left. The depth is shaky at best. And what's the first reaction from your fans? Blame the fever. It's a pattern.
If we say her stats are today, what?
20 points, 8.4 assists, 6 rebounds.
That's crazy.
But
That's crazy.
5.6
Those are hell of a number.
Those are hell of a numbers.
But to me, that's not
Period.
dominating.
Yeah, it's only not dominating because she's a rookie.
Now,
If
No.
if she's putting up numbers like Asia right now, would she be dominating?
yes.
So it's about
Meanwhile, Clark is still under the microscope, still getting unfair treatment, and still getting little to no public support from certain superstars. Imagine the outrage if the roles were reversed. If Asia Wilson were the one taking hard fouls every game, getting disrespected in interviews, and facing backlash for things outside of basketball, the response would be different. People would be rallying behind her. But Clark? She's just supposed to take it. Fever fans don't forget.
You got the MAGA Barbie. Look, this is gonna be good and bad for the Fever. And this is gonna be good and bad for CC. Because if CC can't get a ring with the super Avengers that Kathy and the Indiana Fever has assembled, then
The Aces have had their stacked years. The super team era wasn't an issue when Vegas was running through the league, but now that the Fever are reloading, it's a problem? Asia Wilson has earned everything she's gotten. The respect, the accolades, the shoe deal, all of it is deserved. But that doesn't mean Fever fans have to ignore the silence when Clark was getting ripped apart. If the Aces want to stay dominant, they'll have to do what every other franchise does: adjust, draft well, and make smart moves. Crying about the Fever taking players won't fix anything.
Get Sid! They went up and snatched Sid Coulson from the Aces. She is 100% vibes. She is 100% going to be a backup for Caitlin. It's going to be fantastic. Backup for Kelsey. Like, she is a great addition to this backcourt. She has senior leadership. She has championship experience.
This year, it's Caitlin Clark. She's taken the WNBA by storm, and her Indiana Fever squad is looking better each game. While rookies usually struggle, Caitlin's impact is undeniable, dropping dimes, draining deep threes, and making her teammates better. The Fever are building something special, and Clark is at the center of it all. Meanwhile, Asia Wilson is busy celebrating her signature shoe, a huge moment for her and the league. But while Asia is soaking in the spotlight, Caitlin is in the gym, locked in on one goal: bringing a championship to Indiana. She's not here for the glitz and glam. She's here to win. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.